Seahawks against Aaron Donald and the Rams. It's all part of Super Wild Card Weekend tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Terry Bradshaw is giving away over $3.5 million, and he's giving away a mystery prize for Super Wild Card Weekend. Make sure you tune into the Fox NFL pregame show tomorrow to find out what the mystery prize is and enter the Super 6 contest for your chance to win. This week's contest features the Rams Seahawks. One of the questions is which team will win and by how many points? Colin, what do you think?
21-20 Rams, upset. Not much of an upset, though, division rivals. Simply Safe Home Security. Get a free security camera with it today. SimplySafeColin.com. SimplySafe.com/Colin, my bad. Marcedes Lewis has been playing in the NFL for a decade and a half. I remember him when he was a dominant tight end at UCLA. He's now a Green Bay Packer. You see him every weekend. They've got a bye, and he is now joining us live on a Friday. So, Marcedes, you were just telling me during the break, so much of the NFL is not just players, but it's management. Is it well run? Is there stability? And I thought it was fascinating. So I asked you during the break, you can't go out, you're dealing with the same stuff we are. And you talked about what the Packers are doing for their players, and it just speaks so well of why Green Bay is so good. Tell our audience, let's say I wanted to grab something to eat, and I was a player for the Packers. What would it be like?
So if you were a guy coming in for the first time, like we just signed you during the season, they really make it easy for you as far as living life and being able to maneuver around the tight spots. You don't necessarily have to spend money here unless you really want to. Everything from food to shakes to supplements, it's all there for you. And they really make it about the players. And so that's something that I definitely don't take for granted. And I'm sure, I speak for the rest of the team when I say that.
Yeah, Marcedes said you wouldn't have to pay for food if you lived and played for the Packers. Every meal, every snack, everything is totally taken care of. You have similarly taken care of your body. That's why you've lasted so long. Take me to playoff intensity and regular season intensity. When you line up, do you sense it? Can you feel it? What's the difference?
Yeah, I think, the biggest difference is the finality of it all. You lose, you go home. There's no do-overs. And I think it puts that much more pressure on you to execute at the highest level and pay, great attention to detail. It's just one of those things that, this is it, and you feel that every single play. Each play could be either the one to win it or lose it. And so I think that's the biggest difference.
It's interesting. There's obviously, statistically, the difference between Matt LaFleur and Aaron first year and Matt LaFleur and Aaron this year is significant. We didn't have a preseason. We didn't have camps. But was there a moment that you sensed this year, wow, Aaron's way more comfortable, perhaps with the language, the play calling? Did you notice it early?
Yeah, obviously with no off season and stuff like that, we have to do everything remotely. And you can just tell within the meetings. And then right when we got back, you can just tell, both of those guys are comfortable. They understand that, in order to get this thing done, we have to be able to fuse everything together. And when I say that, I mean, Matt has his philosophy on how he wants things done. And obviously Aaron has played a lot of ball. Won MVPs, won a Super Bowl. He has things that he believes that works. And so being able to tie those two things together and, being able to lean on both of those guys, it's really helped. And you can see it. I'm not telling you anything that you're not able to watch every weekend.
Yeah. It's when you are a veteran player, and Green Bay still feels young to me. You and Aaron may not be, but this week, you are a veteran presence. You are somebody that's been around like this. Do you sense young players understand that? Like they gravitate a little if players asked you about the playoff experience this week?
Not directly, but you can tell. It's different. Not everybody, I've been in this league for 15 years and only been to the playoffs, 3 or 4 times. So, it's definitely not something that's given. It's a privilege. It's something that's earned. And I think, on this team, we have the right leadership, and the guys that, haven't been there, they do a good job of following. And it just, permeates throughout the entire locker room. And you know, we're definitely focused on the task at hand and definitely not taking it for granted.
You know, last year you were a good team, but you had gotten pushed around by physical teams 2 or 3 times. So when you came into this year, my takeaway was, I know Green Bay's good, but can Green Bay go play a Tennessee? Can Green Bay play a Philadelphia and get into the octagon and go play physical, ugly football? And you guys did. I thought you played one of your best games of the year against Tennessee. You played great last week against Chicago. If you go look at the Packers draft, Marcedes, it looked like the organization went and got a big running back, a blocking tight end, interior lineman. Was it a big part of the discussion this year, getting more physical?
I think, it wasn't necessarily a discussion, but it was more so the elephant in the room. And, football is about a game that, grown men going out there and taking what they want. And, obviously last year towards the tail end, when we were in the playoffs, we didn't go out there and take what we wanted. And so, whether that's used as fuel going forward or whatever it is, but we understood, what the perception was last year. And I think every day when we're out there practicing, it's about changing that narrative. And so I think each day, with each rep, we're doing that. And, it's important not to get ahead of ourselves, but we're in a good position and looking forward to competing with whoever it is that we have to play next weekend.
It's funny. You played in warm weather UCLA, and then you go down to steamy Jacksonville, and now it's January. It's Lambeau. It is cold. And sometimes it may not be something you're used to, but you just sort of buy into something and say, I'm gonna live this and love it. So cold weather football, Marcedes, do you love it yet?
I think it's one of those, it's like a mystique, like we love it because we know everybody else don't love it, and it's like, we adapt to it and adjust to it.